Tokyo's back home. Stoney JR said that Stoney Rosen would meet them for dinner at Orlando's. Orlando's it is, Brad said. 4:30 p.m. Brad and Jim Bob ordered pizza, but JR ordered spaghetti baked to perfection. Stoney sat down and talked to them, but Stoney was creeped out by Brad staring at the young college girls there. 4:40 p.m. Brad excuses himself to go to the restroom. Jim Bob leans over and whispers in JR's ears. "I have a confession to make," Jim Bob's whispered. "I smoked some swag at Ambleside Prep in San Angelo in 1986. That's why they transferred me to Reese Prep. Please, just don't tell my aunt. And don't tell Brad," Jim Bob said. 9 p.m. In the car, JR, Brad, and Jim Bob continued their conversation from in the restaurant. "Public affairs? I thought when you got started it was going to be public relations," Jim Bob said. "Things change and people change. Come on, look at Karen. This is her last semester at Texas Tech. Next fall, she transfers to Lubbock Christian University. It's universally, it's versatile, and I'm just hoping it's versatile. And besides, I'm just hoping that JR does the right thing," Brad said. It's a Christian university, Brad said. "I just hope JR does the same thing and transfers." "Not gonna happen," JR said. "Lubbock Christian does not have a public affairs program, and I'm lucky that Texas Tech created one," JR said. November 20th, 2:40 a.m. JR wakes up in his dorm room. Today is the big day for the big swim meet against the University of Texas and Texas State University. He knows the study room won't open until 4, so he dresses to go downstairs, possibly to the living room, if Charlie isn't asleep there. But then he thinks of one better and decides to instead go into his sweet living room to study for government and for public speaking. By 5 a.m., JR is beginning swimming practice with his team. He looks in the bleachers and sees his father and mother. "It's nice to see both of them together again," JR said. "Your father only came because of your mother," Charlie said. "Oh, shut up," JR said, plunging into the water and swimming the 50 freestyle. 6:30 a.m. Jim and Bessie take JR back to the condo to have breakfast. A hearty breakfast with his Grandma Swain's homemade donuts. 7:45 a.m. The Hendrick family van with Jim, Bessie, JR, and Grandma Elizabeth take off to the Sibley Aquatic Center. for the big swim meet against UT Austin and Texas State University. 8 a.m. The swim meet begins at the assembly. Jim rushes over and taps JR on the shoulder. "Go get him, boy," Jim said, taking his wife and mother-in-law to the bleachers. 8:35 a.m. The judge calls Brent Clark's name. JR taps him on the shoulders. "Go after it, bro," JR said. Brent goes up to the diving board, getting ready for the triple somersault. This would see if he would be qualified to go against Duke University in a couple of weeks. However, he only does a 6.0, which disqualifies him. 9:20 a.m. It's now time for JR's qualifying heat. And he anxiously looks around. Brad and Jim Bob are nowhere to be found. The only ones on the bleachers there for him are his family. "On your mark, get set," the announcer said. "Just go forward," Brent said. As the buzzer went off, Jim swims like crazy in the 50 freestyle. Ultimately, he did so well, with a UT Austin student at a close second. 9:25 a.m. There had been a close call with an official, but finally, the coach places the gold medal around JR's neck. "Look, you did it. You finally did something for a change," Brad said. "Yeah, and where the heck were you?" JR asked angrily. "We stopped off at Lubbock for Life Center to see Karen," Jim Bob said. "You did what?" JR asked angrily. "You stupid idiots! You don't go bother someone at their workplace until that person is almost done. How many times have I got to tell you?" "Look," Brad said. "He wanted to see Karen, so I took him." "No harm, no foul." "You forget how I was raised," JR said. Jim could see the commotion downstairs and how upset his son was getting, so he goes down to the pool floor to face Jim Bob and Brad. "I suggest you two boys get gone. You broke a rule, and by that rule, you don't celebrate with JR, because y'all wanted to see Karen instead. You see, you never, ever double-cross a Hendrix." Hope you've enjoyed this adventure. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of this adventure. It's J.R. Hendricks saying until next time, take care. God bless.